Okay, this video is to give you an overview of the English Reading Intermediate Midterm exam. Now we're going to start off by first going into Blackboard, into your reading course, and going down the left-hand side you will see a variety of different links. We're going to go down to Sample Tests. And in Sample Tests you will have different samples of the midterm, and also final exams and comprehension quizzes. Because the semester is online, we just have the midterm and final exam. Normally, we would have other quizzes on campus. So to find out what we're actually doing in the midterm, there is a document called the Midterm TOS, which is the specifications. And so if we open that, you can see, well, this information is a little bit old, but basically you should have an hour to do the exam, and it's worth 25% of your mark. The important part of it is to know what is on the actual exam. So you're going to have a text, and there will be questions about the text, and the length of the text is about 550 to 600 words. And you can see here that we have multiple choice questions, short answer questions, vocabulary in context. This means vocabulary that's not part of your Quizlet list, but is vocabulary that you infer from the text, as well as a chart completion, similar to your graphic organizer. And lastly, we have vocabulary, which is from your Quizlet list. So here it tells you how much time you should spend on each section. This is a good thing to remember for practicing, to see how long it takes for you to do each section. And of course, for the first 2 or 3 sections, it takes longer because you're reading it and trying to figure out the main ideas and the paragraph main ideas of the story. Okay, so you can look at this document to tell you a little bit about what is actually on the test. Okay, so going to an actual sample exam, we're going to bring up this one here, and it will be one that you'll be doing in class. So here we want to write your name, your ID number, and your group, okay? And as well as my name and the date. And of course, this is what the text may or may not look like. There may or may not be photos. It may be shorter paragraphs or longer paragraphs. But this is essentially what it may look like. Okay, so we have the text. And remember that in the text, we want to try to figure out the main idea of each paragraph. So remember how we did the what, when, where, who, why, and how. This is where you're going to want to write little notes on the test of what that paragraph main idea is about each paragraph. So that's going to take a little bit of time at the beginning, but then that will help you for answering the questions. Remember, we want to go through and highlight important words like not, or can or can't. So these are positive or negative words. We want to, so that we know if there's any questions, that if there's any tricky questions, we can realize those positive and negative words, okay? So in this text, there's 7 paragraphs. Be careful, sometimes the paragraphs go on to the second page. So remember that this moves on to the second page here. So very important that you read the instructions, okay, and of the questions. And here we have multiple choice, circle the best answer. So you want to make sure you circle the letter, okay, and here are all the different questions. Again, a tip is to make sure you perhaps highlight any positive or negative words, okay. Remember, mainly about, it means main idea. Be careful and note when they use the paragraphs. Paragraph 5, you want to make sure you're looking at the correct paragraph. Again, main idea of a paragraph. See, this is a question that comes up. Lots and lots. And here we have short answers. Again, be very careful with the instructions. You can't write more than 10 words. So you don't write tons and tons of words, only less than 10 words, or it will be marked completely wrong. So be careful with that. Again, with these type of questions, underline what they want. What, right? Are positive, negative words as well, okay? Why should you not use too much garlic? Okay, this is very important. Not use, not why you should use garlic, not. So there's that part. And then here, vocabulary and context. Again, we do some practice of this in our class, but we want to try to figure out the definition of this word by looking at the paragraph. Okay. And the sentences, and seeing the sentence before and after, and see if any of the words help us better guess the answer. Okay, the next one is a chart completion. This is similar to what we do with the graphic organizer. And we're going to put in however many words it asks, and it must make sure the spelling is correct. So you look for the word in the text. And these sentences are sometimes the same or usually a paraphrase, meaning they're not written exactly how they are in the text, but that they are a paraphrase. And so you're trying to find a word in the text that applies to the same meaning of this sentence and the text. Okay, be careful with the headings. So here we have main idea, and this is the details. And then last but not least, we have the vocabulary questions about your Quizlet and assigned vocabulary. And for example, here, there's one word extra. So my recommendation is always read through all these sentences and try to pick the easy ones first that you know, cross them off, and then start going through and working with the more difficult ones, okay? Be careful on knowing whether it's a verb, a noun, an adjective, okay, or an adverb. If it's going to be an adverb, we know it's going to be before or after a verb. Okay, and that is the exam. And like you said, you have an hour to do this exam, and remember all the tips that we do for the exam. If you have any more questions about the midterm exam, please do not hesitate to contact me during my office hours or at the English Success Zone from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Either myself or my colleagues can help you answer any of these questions.